What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day. My name's Jason with Signature Esports, and welcome to the first podcast. I'm joined by Nate over at Skollkey eSports. You see him on the top of your screen. He's a good old dude that we've come to know and come to appreciate in the entire platform here for not just iRacing and sim racing, but pretty much gaming altogether. Nate, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
New things everywhere. Make sure that you're out there, you're chatting it up, asking questions. We want to hear from you. Wanted to get the first one kind of out of the way so that way we had the introductions and kind of give you a little bit of, a preview of what we're going to be doing Friday nights for the time being. And then as things kind of progress going forward, we'll change up according to our race schedules and what we're doing for broadcasting. Signature Esports, of course, we do all kinds of things as far as gaming is concerned, but for the most part, what we've been involved in is iRacing broadcasts and commentating for leagues and just kind of getting that gaming industry out there. And Skollkey Esports can tell you about himself.
Yeah, so currently broadcasting on Thursday nights for the Goat Racing Xfinity Series, now the Beef Jerky Unlimited Xfinity Series. Streaming wise, play games like iRacing, Escape from Tarkov, Star Citizen once in a while. Still getting into that one, trying to. But outside of that, work, take care of dogs, hang out with friends and whatnot when I can. But huge gamer. That's pretty much the gist of it.
We like our games, that's for sure. Al, thank you for the like out there, man. Appreciate you very much. Chats are up and live. We're going to make sure that we're taking a look at that. Some of the things that we've always discussed is how to improve iRacing and how to be better individuals, how we can influence folks out there and kind of take care of the natural progression of just what we do. And a lot of folks get, they want to get involved in streaming or broadcasting or in a multitude of what what is considered good streaming, bad streaming, and some. If you asked me 2 years ago if I'd be doing this today, I would have told you were silly. But those are the big takes from what I've done here, and the platform's grown, and I enjoy what we do, and I enjoy what we're trying to do as far as a platform here. But Nate, what do we think is kind of the big gist of this? What do we want to take away from gaming whenever we get in and sit down and kind of just do our daily? Besides iRacing, we'll talk about iRacing. We've got a ton about iRacing and the platforms and what we're doing as far as our leagues are going, and we'll talk about that too, and talk about some patch notes and upcoming things for iRacing coming up. The new patch notes for Tarkov, we'll talk about that, and Star Citizen, of course. I'm really big into Star Citizen now. It's my go-to game. I thank Jesse Kazam for that. He and Veritas, when they did the podcast, he keeps talking about it, and he's pretty much the reason why I got involved in that. But Nate, what do you like to get out of gaming?
I think gaming for me is just number one. It's getting out of the stress, especially after a long day of work. You come home, you get in the video games, you kind of forget about other things, and most of the time have fun. Tarkov is Tarkov, and that's obviously what I've been playing a lot of right now, and it has its moments because it is Tarkov, but it's still a nice little escape, hang out with friends. I've met a lot of new friends playing, especially yourself, C-Money. I play a lot with Marshall, which I met him in at work, but made a lot of friends out of it. And I think that's one of the big things. It's just kind of that nice little escape from a stressful day, get to have fun, meet new people, and build a lot of good relationships out of it.
I think that's my big thing is that before iRacing, I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I've been a part of the World of Warcraft scene since since Warcraft, since the original, just over the head, top down playing style Warcraft and Starcraft and everything that Blizzard had going on with that, and that's where I started meeting friends and meeting. We had coworkers, we had a lot of people that were you never knew who you were going to meet, not just in real life but online. That I've seen doctors, I've seen lawyers, I've seen politicians get out there and play games, and it's such a uh, love it. Appreciate you. What's going on, Sinfo? Kendra, thank you for the hey. There's Stitch out there. Thank you so much. Um, I truly I truly enjoy the fact that we can get out there and connect, and I think that's what gaming is supposed to be about. And the next episode, we're going to talk about the not so great things about gaming, but today we're going to talk about the good things of gaming. What I liked about World of Warcraft kind of has evolved into moving into the next step, which is gaining more and more traction, gaining more and more fans, and gaining more and more people that you had to it Stitch. I like it. And gaining more and more involving the platform and other platforms and trying to bring everybody together. Skollkey eSports, you decided to take that brand and talk about your brand. Talk about what folks can expect from you and why you chose the name.
Number one, Skollkey was a good idea that my wife and I both came up with. So, number one, I love wolves. They're my favorite animal by far over everything. And the key part comes from it. Let me rewind. The skull part comes from a wolf that is chasing the sun. Number two, key comes from my favorite graphic novels and one of my favorite TV shows now, Lock and Key. So I just kind of combined those together, came up with Skollkey. The esports then came from venturing into iRacing and broadcasting and just kind of having a more open brand to say, hey, we're going to do lots of things eventually. We're starting out kind of small now. We got one broadcast a week, which I do have a buddy that tag teams those streams with me right now. I did my first one by myself on Thursday, which was a ton of fun. But the brand itself, what you can expect when you come to my channel, I'm going to be me. I'm not going to come out here and, necessarily be the like happy, jolly all the time. Like I'm going to play games, things are going to happen. You can expect frustration, especially when I'm playing Tarkov. Like things are going to happen. But biggest thing is you come to this channel, you get what you see, and just and that's just kind of how it is.
That's the way it's supposed to be, right? What's up, Dark Horizon? Guess who took over your
Wait, does that did that tie us?
I think it tied you. Rich, thank you so much. He thank you for the 6 months out there, man. I appreciate you. My light
Come
quit.
on, Rich.
My light quit. There's a yeah, 6 months, he says. So appreciate you, man. So there's a lot going on with the and
this
he gifted
guy.
he just gifted 5. Thank you for the 5 subs. Much love. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to look at that. Let's see. Schaefer gets 4 months in a row. Kiki, Son of Phoenix, now new subs. Jay gets Mr. Mines gets got his 3rd month in a row too. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Oh, my alerts need to be on the top, man. There you go. Get those alerts. Much love. Appreciate you for it. He did take over. The light quit, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm gonna have to replace that light. I had the batteries charging, and it is what it is. I'll just be dark complected today as far as the shadows and everything that's going on, so it'll be all right. I'm not even worried about it. Gotta be number one, he says. He says gotta be number one. Appreciate you. That's Rich out there. Rich has been a big support, big proprietor to what we do over here at Signature Esports as well. So much love to the man and what he does. Thank you to the community as well for helping us grow. We went from we went from roughly about 2,000 followers across the platforms a year ago to now we're about 4.5, almost 5,000 across the board, which is just fantastic. It's one of those things that you start seeing how people develop and how people uh, kind of work together, and when you find your niche, which I'm grateful and thankful for iRacing, um, for being my platform that helped me grow. But I wanted to reach esports as a full um, a full staple, a full stable, so to speak. I love iRacing and I love commentating and I love getting myself into the races, but I want to make sure that what we do is also it's also very impactful in other gaming industries as well, which is why I like Tarkov. Tarkov is a very difficult game, um, and I wanted to be day one, get into the new wipe because the wipe just happened. For those who don't know, um, it's only getting, but I appreciate it. Big Zerk, love broadcasting with and Skollkey, love it, appreciate it. Charles, thank you for the like out there, man. Appreciate you. We'll talk. We're going to talk about iRacing quite a bit, so stick around for that. I want to make sure that everybody knows that's still on the forefront. Um, but the big factors in everything that we do is I just want to make sure everything's good on the stream. I'm doing the same things I normally do uh, with with the with the platform when I'm doing everything. Goat Racing giving us some love out there too. Appreciate you. But the the big thing that I see out of all this F122 GT7 PlayStation, love it. But the big thing that I see that we're starting to do is we're starting to delve into other games and other things that I think can grow, and uh, that helps me not be stagnant. And I think that's part of the goal here is to not just be the biggest thing that I think influencers have always said is stick to one thing. And I I hate to be a rebel, but I don't want to stick to just one thing. So that's kind of the way it is. Ron Walsh out there, appreciate you. He says, you guys do a great job. Ron Walsh, big thanks, much appreciation. Big appreciation to all the folks out there chatting too. Um, Skollkey does a great job. He and Zerk do Thursday nights for the Goat Racing League. Of course, I do Goat Racing on Tuesdays and Saturday nights for the trucks in the Cup Series. That's one of my broadcasts over there. Then also I have the let's see, Sunday we're going to be a triple header here very soon. It'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing the Chop Shop Next Gen Series. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern, it'll be the Outcast Racing League. And then at 9 Eastern at night, it'll be the No Toad Racing League. So that'll be my Sunday. Monday is the International Virtual Racing League. That is according to what the actual NASCAR trucks are running. So if they race the Friday before, that next Monday I have a broadcast. So that's how that works. Tuesday nights, of course, the Goat Racing Truck Series. Wednesday night, the Winston Throwback Series, which they just had their season opener Wednesday, and that was a phenomenal race. Um, Great to have them back on board. Thursday is for me is the Chop Shop Racing Xfinity Series, which is an awesome series. Friday nights, for the time being, it's going to be the podcast until Asphalt Outlaws Racing Series comes back. When they come back, we'll have to figure out the podcast from there. But I want to continue to have this every day and kind of do that. So that's kind of what it is. And then back Saturday full week. It's kind of the way it is. Go Chop Shop, Son of Phoenix. Good to see it. Let's see. Part of the Goat Xfinity. Love it. Ron, appreciate you, man. And good to see you in the chat. Nate, talk to me about Tarkov and the new wipe, because that's a big it's a big thing that happens every so often. And what can people expect right now? I've got the patch notes already ready to go for folks, so we can always look at that. Of course, it'll be on my other screen that I need to switch to, but actually, I need to probably send that to you. Mm-hmm. forgive me. That was our messages. Bam. All right. Now there you go. There it is. There's the patch notes for you. Let me put it over on the screen so that way we can take a look at it. My light, the light is my monitors right now because my nice fancy light is not working. I love it. But talk to me about it. How have you liked since you've been back? You've been playing it. How have you liked it?
I think the number one. This is the first wipe that I have played so early on, and that is bright.
It is very
Um,
bright.
yeah. Um, yeah, number one, first time I've played a wipe so early. Every time I've played before, which the first time was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I didn't get into it quite as much. I played to maybe level 17, 18, 19, right in that range. Had fun with it, but it was a different game back then, and it was tough. And at that point, um, I wasn't quite to the point I am where I am now with video games because I did not use mouse and keyboard. I used controllers. So trying to play Tarkov was one of the hardest things I ever did, trying to learn that mouse and keyboard. Because especially with it being the first one, there's so much to it. Um, this wipe, though, I didn't play the first probably 4 or 5 days. But now that I'm getting into it, it's been the first day was a tad toxic because you got your new scav rep and stuff like that started with the last wipe, and player scavs were just killing player scavs every time I went in. I died, so it's a little frustrating. Um, Compared to end of wipe, where you would run on your PMC, you would get in a raid, and there'd maybe be 2 or 3 other players depending on the size of your team. And now it's back to being full. You expect a PMC at every single spawn, and it is pretty quickly pretty chaotic. So there's a lot to it now. They've changed a lot of things, and a lot more things are coming. There's 3 new bosses that I thankfully have not ran into, and I'm scared to do that still.
Being that you get in there and I, for those who don't know, Tarkov's wipe came at the worst time for me because I found a new game. Actually, it was a Father's Day gift. My son got it for me for Father's Day. I've been playing Star Citizen, and so I haven't touched Tarkov yet. But everything that I've watched and that I've seen, about to get bigger when the GTT. Yeah, I believe it, man. Appreciate you. Of pictures from my next podcast. Awesome, awesome. Rich said that he enjoyed watching us play Tarkov, and this is pre-why. This is a couple of weeks ago when we played. We did a stream, and he watched us play until dawn. He said so, which was fun. We get out there, and we do have fun, but that's the one game that it probably I try to take as serious as a it forces you almost to take it seriously
Yeah.
because you have gear fear, you have um, you never know what's lurking around every corner. There's lots of situations that awareness is the biggest portion of that game, and I think uh, that's probably it's a very tough game. Anybody who says that Tarkov is something you can just get in, it's not Warzone. It's not something you can just get in and W key and know that you're going to come out good or bad on the other end. If you W key all the time, you're going to come out bad on the other end because somebody's going to be there to pick you off.
And the jump scares.
And the jump scare, yeah. Um, yeah, I was glad to see you switch from controller to mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
You
did
like
that in Warzone.
yes, you did. Yes, you did. I was there when that happened. And that you just got better. And you've been able to embellish and grow from that, I think. And that's really cool. I can't play with a controller, on a PC. If you put me on the Xbox or PlayStation, most of the time I'm playing golf or baseball. But, let's see, some of the patch notes for Tarkov. I want to switch that over. And we will do that. Actually, I'm going to put it up here. We're going to switch it over to the screen so you folks can see it, see what we're doing. Forgive the darkness, my old friend. Yeah, I like that one. All right. Patch notes. I know it's kind of kind of small. Let's blow it up for you so you can see it. For Tarkov, they expanded the lighthouse location, added the ability to visit the island where the lighthouse is located. Have you guys done that yet? Have you and C Money gone out there yet?
I have not even attempted Lighthouse yet.
No, man, I bet everybody's going there. They
Yeah.
also added new interiors inside the water treatment plant facility complex, which before they had closed doors in there, and you couldn't get out there, and you couldn't open those doors. And I think that's part of what they've done from what I've seen. So, watching other streamers, watching other folks get out there and um, push the boundaries on that, I think that's pretty darn cool. Let's see.
And get also on the roof now.
That's what somebody had said. They added the 3 new bosses. The commanders of the ex-USEC PMC group known as the Rogues. The leader of the gang is the Knight, who coordinates the actions of the entire. So here's the thing about Tarkov that I like too. It's the lore. The lore of Tarkov is probably the most interesting part of this game, which is curious in nature altogether. And so when they sit here and they describe these characters that they've put in here, it's been insane to be able to see it and watch it. But let's see. So they've added to the rogues. So they've got the Knight, who coordinates the actions of the entire group and specializes in assault operations. Bird Eye maintains the distance between him and the enemy, setting up ambushes and choosing positions with a clear line of sight to the area. Big Pipe prefers the grenade launcher, so they've added a lootable grenade launcher in to it, and that's, I think that over time, once everybody starts getting the grenade launcher and it becomes more and more available or lootable, maybe farmable. I don't know. They've made it so that way it's that Big Pipe's grenade launcher doesn't spawn as much, but it is first part of the wipe. So, it is what it is. And this comes from the Escape from Tarkov forum, which I do follow pretty much religiously when it comes to the game. And this is the patch notes for 12.12.30. I think they're going to have 13 coming up here pretty soon, and that should be here the next couple of months. They do have the plans for the arena, and I think that's going to be fun, but I'm still looking to see what that is. So grenade launcher for Big Pipe. Bosses maintain contact with each other. That's new, because before the boss would go and stand in one spot, and all the rogues would, or the boss's minions would scatter. Let's see. When an enemy is detected by any of the boss or rogues, information on the enemy location is transmitted to everybody by radio.
Yeah.
And that is that's different. Before they used to just yell at you.
Yeah, they'll all rush you at the same time.
and that's a no bueno situation. So
no.
See, so they're going to take up tactical positions, and they're trying to make the AI more realistic, more lifelike, what you would expect out of a combat situation. And that's all in a matter of opinion. What's going to be good there, and what's not going to be good there. Bosses will help each other. They use all the available weapons within that group, and they're hostile to everybody. I wonder if that is going to change, of course, with those bosses when it comes to getting that max fence rep, because at 6.0 you have max fence rep and as a scav, and so the scavs would typically not be shot at by the bosses, and I wonder if that's going to change, and they're just gonna still stay aggro to everybody again.
So the big thing with those bosses is, as your scav, you can kill those bosses and it won't hurt your rep. So I don't think we'll see where they don't attack scavs on sight.
I think that's kind of fun. So now we know.
Because it's just like the rogues you can kill as a scav as well, and it won't affect your rep. So with them being the rogue bosses, they'll shoot on sight, radio on sight, whatever they decide to do, and they'll rush you, and it's not going to be fun, especially on a scav that you don't have very much.
Right. So bosses habitat. Oh, and that's something that was really interesting too. I'm kind of paraphrasing some of this because there's a lot of patch notes, so I want to just kind of go through them pretty quickly here. The boss's habitats are lighthouse, shoreline, woods, and customs. They don't have to stay in one place, and instead they wander through these locations all the time. If the bosses have moved to one of the maps, they will be absent from the other one. So at that particular time, those bosses will, if they're on customs, they're not going to be anywhere else, which is I think is pretty awesome. So that means every raid that goes into customs during that time, they're going to see those bosses there, and I think that's pretty fantastic. Uh, and that would change lootable farming, and that's where I think that was a good improvement for these guys. The offline co-op mode. What do you think about that, Nate?
Yes. I think that is going to be huge, especially for newer players that are getting in, trying to learn the maps, and even for, um, I'll say veteran players, they can learn from it as well, especially if they're playing with a new group. And I think at like our level, I, I don't know what the word would be, maybe intermediate. We're not new, we're not great. Um, it's just a good time for us to go in. You can put the raiders and stuff on there. As far as I know, you can put pretty much all the scavs, and you can bump up their difficulty from what I've understood. um I think it's just a good way to go in, learn the maps, learn where everything's at, learn your communication, especially because with, my biggest issue right now is interchange with all the stores and whatnot. Just learning those call outs of exactly where you are by when you're in the mall part, the stores, whether you're in Idea, Ollie, Goshen, wherever you're at, and just learning what stores are right out there. I think co-op, offline cooperative is awesome, and I think it's huge.
And it's only available to those who have Edge of Darkness edition, so the pre-order edition. So EOD is what folks usually call it, but Edge of Darkness is the most expensive package, but it does give you the biggest starting package. It gives you the biggest storage and gives you a little bit extra rep with the traders whenever you first start too. So that's always a plus side to all of that. Um, Something you cannot do in co-op mode, though, from what I understand, is that you cannot turn the scavs off. The scavs have to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pro am. Yeah, we're pro am. I can see that. So, rework
I'll
the
take it.
movement animations. What have you noticed with that?
Ooh. The It was really weird. Now I'm used to it, but before when you were running, there was no like, I'm trying to call it a wobble. Now when you're running, you kind of have that like side to side head bob type deal, which I'm okay with. It just took me a little bit to get used to it because it was just something new. So as soon as you go in, your head kind of starts doing this while you're running, which to me is kind of realistic. Like you don't just keep your head perfectly straight and the rest of your body's moving. So that's the biggest one I've noticed. Uh, the other big one I've noticed is leaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I want to say it feels smoother and more realistic of a lean because you don't just like, before it was just kind of straight over. I'm kind of doing it on my camera, but now it's got that little like you're actually leaning. So I think they've done some good things with that.
Um, uh, let's see. They've added new tasks for the lighthouse. They've added or two extra slots um for your
Yep.
unlootable section. So it used to be you could only carry either a compass or a Wi-Fi camera or a tool. Now you can carry all three. So that's really cool. Airdrops have updated as well. Four different types of airdrops with a flare gun to call in airdrops as well. Which I think airdrop that's going to be like a bait for a lot of
Yeah,
folks.
definitely.
Um, so be careful if you're out there doing that.
Yeah, it is
So,
nice because there's not just like the random airdrops like there was before, but now there's medicine
mhm,
and like food airdrops, gun part airdrops, and there's one other one I can't remember. And then I think you have your normal ones as well still. But I think
right.
there's a third one that's like a unique one, and I just don't remember what it is.
New weapons: the Benelli M3 Super Shotgun, the AXMC Sniper Rifle, MP18 Single Shot Rifle. That's the meme gun. I'm
Yep.
looking forward to playing with that one. 704 assault rifle. I've seen good things about that. The SAG AK carbine, the HK G36 assault rifle got an. I thought that they just updated that. I didn't think they actually added a new one, but apparently didn't do that. And then the revolver grenade launcher, the MGL, the big pipe holds. A lot of animation work. They changed perception skills so that way they kind of nerfed it because it was being too what was it too aggressive, especially the more that you
Yes.
the more that you leveled that perception skill, you could basically hear across the map.
Yeah, some people could hear way too far, and if there was a level 40 on that map and you were 20, they were hearing you a good, I would even say, like 30 meters before you even knew they were there. It was kind of ridiculous.
That's a shame. Marcelo, thank you for the like out there. Appreciate you very much. Thank you to everybody out there, like and follow. Keep the chats going. I want to make sure that if you have any questions about what we do as well, and any of the games, if you've got any opinions on Tarkov or iRacing or Star Citizen, I'm saving iRacing for last because that's kind of our bread and butter, and we all have opinions of iRacing and what's going on there. There are some patch notes, some new things that they just released here recently, some upcoming things that are going to be good. Especially, I do want to mention that damage models are something we're going to talk about. Tarkov AMD they released the NVIDIA DLSS last pre-patch before this wipe. They added the AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution of the FSR, so you can try to stream in 4K. I wouldn't recommend it, but some people do. Some people have the systems for it. New voices for the bear and the USAC. They added if you drop a gun, it makes a sound, but I think that's kind of bugged a little bit.
You're so loud.
I was gonna say I thought it was kind of bugged. Bodies collapsing after death. I think the sound echoes now. Something's going on with that. And let's see. Just lots of stuff. If you want to check it out, go to escapefromtarkov.com. Click on the forum if you are registered over there. If not, register for the game. Use Skollkey as an opportunity there to give a referral. He's got it over there. But the big question on Tarkov for me is how long does the does this first couple of, is it a month, is it a week, is it a couple of weeks before people start losing interest?
I think with so many new things and all the events that happened at the end of the last swipe, which was not something they had been doing before, I think the community's probably going to hold on for longer than normal on this swipe. Unless they start getting angry because there's been some glitches and whatnot. But I mean, that's any game, really, especially a beta. But
Right.
I think we're going to see people hold on for at least another month because then you're going to start getting people hitting max traders. They're going to start running out of tasks, things like that. But I think we're in for a longer, busy map wipe.
Good, because you know what that means. That means we won't see a ton of loss there. So, and that's something that people I see a lot of complaints out there in forums, and I've heard it time and time again on other platforms that they say that the worst thing about Tarkov is that there's nothing to do. Nate is stuck. Is he stuck? Oh, he's hold on. Let's we're gonna refresh. There he is. There he is. I just had to refresh, folks. Sorry about that. Nate froze for a moment. But the big thing is there he is. The big thing for Tarkov is playability over the entire wipe, and that's where I think Tarkov differs from Star Citizen, in my opinion, is that as well as it's hard, it's very hard to level in Tarkov. You can kind of cheese it a little bit, but after level 15, it just gets more and more difficult. You need a lot more experience, and there's a number behind each and every one of those. In Star Citizen, what I've learned through that game, playing it since 17th of June, is that you have to continuously do missions to be able to increase your rep. If you fail the missions, you lose your rep, and the penalties are pretty huge. It's very hard to make money in that game. Um, the wipes of these beta and alpha games was very new to you. Didn't like the idea, however, understand why they do. And that's the thing; they have to do it. One, like with Tarkov, they wipe because of server issues, or they need to basically they take all the builds down and they put up a new build of the game. And so that's why it wipes, because it gives it a fresh start. Star Citizen has a database, and that's the reason why they're, and right now they're at 317.1 at Star Citizen. Um, and that is the current build. And there's a lot of inventory bugs and a lot of things that happened with free fly events and things that came before I did. And I see that. I see that when it comes to bugs, Star Citizen is the buggiest game I've ever played. Doesn't mean it's not fun. Doesn't mean it's not addictive. It's the same with Tarkov. Tarkov had a lot of issues when I first started playing it, and it has progressively, with little bug fixes or little patch fixes, has improved. And even after this wipe, they've had to continuously add more and more bug fixes to it to fix a lot of things that have gone wrong, because you never know what's going to happen. But uh, and that's part of the allure, I think, is because I see the improvements of Tarkov and I want to see the final product. It makes me want to see the final product, because if anything that they're doing now is to better I don't agree with everything that they're doing. I don't agree with everything that Star Citizen is doing. Like right now, when they go to 317.2, um, they're going to perform an inventory and ship wipe, and they're going to wipe the and they're going to wipe your money. And like I said, money's very hard to make in that game. Um, and especially if you have just a starter ship, or if you have something that's small without spending, real money to get the bigger ships, you have to earn that in game. And something that they are doing to counter that is that they are going to let your reputation stand. So anything that so if you've done a lot of delivery missions, and each delivery mission that you get is 30-40,000 alpha UEC in game, you're going to be able to get that back. Do you think Tarkov could benefit for something like that in a wipe, where you keep your reputation, you keep a few other things?
Uh, that's kind of tough to tell because reputation, I feel like building that rep is a big part of the leveling process. Because if you have that rep, I mean, I guess that could still make it to where it's still, you got to have the level, but it just makes it easier for people to get like the max items in games, like the big cases for your stash to get the better weapons, the better gear, the better ammo. So that one for Tarkov, I kind of feel like everybody needs to kind of start on the same level. They all need to start with the worst gear, the worst guns, the worst ammo, and build it up from ground level.
I think in Star Citizen, I like that if they're going to wipe, they need to wipe it all. You know what I mean? Make everybody start again. I don't like
Yeah.
having, because what they've done is they split their database, and that's the reason why they're having to wipe. It's because the database is flooded with information from players that are inactive, or people that have come in for free fly events and they only fly during those events, and so they have all that extra stuff going on, and then it's bugged out duplicate ships in your ASOP terminals, and there's lots of things that are there that could be as easy as saying, all right, well, we're just going to wipe the ships. Let's just wipe everybody's ships and let you have your money. Or let's wipe the money, let everybody keep their ships, but we're going to fix the database. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So what they've done is they split it up into three sections. They split it up into the ships and item inventory. Money has its own database as well, and the persistent leveling of a character is there as well. But if those who haven't seen, I posted pictures on Facebook and on Twitter and Instagram of what the game looks like from just, and those were just screenshots. That was me hitting print screen in game and taking the screenshots. Beautiful game, a lot of potential. taken way too long for them to get where they're at, according to everything that I've seen, everything that I've read, everything that I've done, and from what I've played. I just feel like it should have been a little bit further along than what it is. But I understand. They've overpromised and underdelivered, and Tarkov somewhat has done the same thing too. But I still enjoy both games. Let's see. Cinephoenix out there on Twitch says, okay, for both hosts, what would be your ideal game? Ultimate, personal, perfect game. I'll let you go first, Nate.
That's tough. I mean, for me, I feel like Tarkov is definitely on the way to that because I like the realism part of that game. And especially the first time I played, they didn't have VoIP. I liked that they added VoIP so you can communicate with people in game. The only thing I kind of wish is that it had more of the open world, maybe like building your own like hideout type. Like you have your hideout in game, but like building a hideout that you have to go to and you have to actually walk out and leave. Like that's why we're building that security. That could be in the future plans. I have no idea where that game is going when they get to version 1. I don't know. I haven't looked that far into it. I don't even know if there's anything about it. But I think Tarkov with an open world, like you actually have to go and leave your hideout and like maybe even have a vehicle if all the maps are one. Like I just kind of think throwing that the bigger open world in with what that game already has would be more of my ideal perfect game.
I think Nikita is just trolling people. I think he knows in his head what the end game is for him right here, and he's trying to. It's like having and Nikita is a fantastic developer, smart businessman. I know that he's got a huge team behind him, but let me put it in a way that I think. Have you ever had a conversation with a 6 year old and they're trying to tell you exactly what they want, but they're using phrases they don't know yet, and so they're trying to give your, like, here's what I want, here's the end, but I know what they know what they want, but you can't figure it out because they're the one. That 6 year old smarter than you are, and they know exactly what they want. They're just trying to tell you in their own way. I think everybody calls Nikita a troll. I think he is just telling everybody slightly what they want to hear and slightly what he knows they need to know, but he knows exactly what he wants.
Yeah. One of the big things he does too is I think he did some of those events at the end of the wipe where he was literally just playing mind games with people, and he was also showing them things like how easy it is to crash an economy. Like some of the even just like I'll call them lessons that he threw out there. Like he can show you like one of the when Marshall and myself were talking with the when he took all the traders away, it was kind of one of those what you have today is not guaranteed tomorrow. And it's like, okay. We went a little deeper into it, but it was like, I can see it.
I kind of like that though. Like when he took the traders, I don't think there should be traders at all until you're level 15. I think that's when if you can unlock your hide or the flea market. I think the flea market needs to be 20, and I think that play your first 15 levels by finding stuff in raid. I think that or crafting it. You can probably upgrade your hideout, do some stuff with your hideout, but you can get trader quests, but you can only get little things. Um, I don't know. I think that there could be a huge like taking away that made you realize that um, you had to depend on the flea market. You had to depend on other people and other players. I do disagree with not being able to drop certain items to your other players, but I understand
Yeah.
why they did that. Um, you know, cheating is prevalent in every game, and it's no secret to Tarkov that it's happened there, just like it has with Warzone and other places. But um, I think it's in the right direction. My perfect game is the game that I'm building, and uh, that'll be uh, that'll be another topic for another podcast. Because I have my idea of a game, and I'm actually making that. I'm actually um, putting that into a into form. So that'll be something we talk about again. It's called Anarchy Day One. That'll be the game. In December, it should be up in the Steam store for pre-order. I'm gonna put it on Steam, so that way folks can get out there and pre-order the game and pre-order it for beta, because I don't want to release a game in alpha that isn't playable in my standards. So we'll do a beta release, hopefully shortly after Christmas, hopefully before February. That's kind of my game plan with that. But it's called Anarchy Day One. I am building it, and we'll talk about that later on. We'll show some screenshots in another podcast. We'll talk about that later on. But Nate's seen some things behind the scenes, so he's known what I've been trying to work on for 8 months.
I say nothing.
And you say nothing. Have you ever had a dream that that you had a dream and you never ever did? Yes, that's the 6-year-old voice. Absolutely. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Folks, if you are interested in Star Citizen, I am going to switch over. Ooh, hello. This man, I'm not going to be famous. All I want to do is I want to create something that is unique to me and unique to what I want to do. Now 13.7 let me just stop and talk. Star Citizen does have their 17.1 right now, but 17.2 is in the PTO, the public test universe. But if it is a free fly week, too late. There is a free fly week going on right now at Star Citizen, so you can get it and test it out. All you have to do is sign up for an account. If you want to do that, make sure that you do. There's my code. That's star7 R5JWVCW. That is the referral code. If you want to use that, that's my referral code. I encourage you to use that or use anybody else's. What that does, that actually benefits me to get free items in game. And some of the things they gave me, one of them was some paints, some guns for my ship, which is really cool. Let me go to my hangar. I also got these cool little bobbleheads for my ship. So those are really stinking awesome. They gave me some Badger and Badges guns. Got some paints. This is the ship. I started with the 100 Eye starter pack, and it's really stinking cool. But I got some bobbleheads, man. They're pretty awesome. I like them. But it gives me free items and free stuff in game, and it helps me out, but also helps grow the community. And if you want to get out there during the free fly week and you want a tutorial, I signed up for one of the programs to be able to walk you through the first few steps of getting involved in there. So, trying to be a community member, trying to do that. If you want to learn how to mine, now your guy. I figured it out. You want a good trading route and a shipping route, I'm your guy now. I figured it out. But I would like to show you rather than put it out there as here's your tutorial on YouTube of what the meta is. There's no meta to Star Citizen right now. I promise you, everything changes. But anywho, Star Citizen is a good game for me. I enjoy it. I have probably put way too many hours into that game. But and some people have good experiences, some people have bad experiences, and some people just play Tarkov. But I've seen both. I've seen both sides. Some people have had really good experiences. A lot of what happens with, and I encourage you when it comes to Star Citizen, it's PC based. You have to go to robertspaceindustriescom. But you need to have a decent CPU. Graphics card alone is not gonna salvage that one. A good CPU or a decent CPU, something that you could read the minimum specs, because you need that. You need 16 gigabytes of RAM to run that. It is very interesting take, and it needs it to run. Not only does it need it to run, but behind the scenes, everyone's like, well, it's kind of glitchy, and it's loading all those textures, it's loading all those pre-render files in the cache, and what that is doing, it's going to store that for you, so that way it doesn't do it next time, or it does it less. So as you play the game, the experience gets better, but you have to explore for it to get better, which is kind of a catch-22 in the game. And I found that the hard way, even whenever because we had to replace the CPU in the streaming computer for iRacing, and when I did, it started happening again. It's because I had to restore those files and I had to redo everything with that. So I got a lot with Star Citizen that we could talk about for hours. But we'll save that for another day, and we'll try to keep this one all about the familiarity and what we're doing. See money, big old C money, some love over there. What are you doing, brother? Good to see you. Nate, iRacing. C Money has gave us a big follow and a big sub to the tier 1. Thank you very much for the sub out there. Appreciate you, my man. Thought I'd pop up and see what these two are yapping about. We talked about Tarkov. You missed that part. We talked about kind of the ins and outs of the little stuff. We didn't go into big details on it, but I want to get footage and talking it. That way we can talk about that a little later on. Try to come up with a game plan. Next week is going to be about toxicity in gaming, just so everybody knows. Just so you know. Money. Did you show the exit? Are you trying to extract? Is that what you're trying to do? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for the sub out there, man. Let's talk about iRacing. iRacing, the platform for all sim racing, iRacing.com. Sign up for an account. It has a monthly subscription. You can get it all kind of everywhere. A lot of free tracks that comes with. You can get started on your rookie career pretty quickly, and that is my ad for iRacing. It's as quickly as I get it and as quick as I can. There's a lot of new features that iRacing's trying to implement, and that includes the UI. They're going away from the website, and this has been a process that they've had for about 6-7 months now, where they're trying to utilize the UI on your dashboard locally on your computer to stop people from cheating. I think that's the biggest goal here, is that we've seen grip packs kind of fall off. We've seen pay to win kind of fall off. We've seen setup shops are helping themselves grow by having people not cheat. Because how is a setup shop going to be able to do anything? How are these paint shops going to be able to do anything if something is even happening? Something that I have noticed with iRacing, and Nate, you tell me. I've seen it seems like activity has dropped off.
Yeah, I would agree. My activity on iRacing has even dropped off. So when I go into official races, I don't see near as many drivers as I did before, and it's I wouldn't say it's like a huge amount, but you can definitely tell a little bit of a difference. And I've noticed that the races that I have done, I have been able to be more competitive and running in towards the front of a lot of packs. So I've noticed a difference.
We've seen at the height of iRacing, we used to see 200,000-300,000 people on live, and that's what something like right now. Let me pull up iRacing. Let me pull it up. Let me see how many people are live right now. Now it's 7:00 my time, 8:00 Eastern. I'll pull up iRacing here real quick, and we'll see how many people are live right now. As it updates, is it going to update? Well, it's not telling me how many people are live right now. Oh, there they are. 8,269 people live racing right now. That's worldwide. That's globally. For those who don't believe me, right here at the top, 8,269 members online. Pretty huge. It's a pretty significant drop off from what we've normally seen. And does that have any? I mean, is that something that we've come to expect out there? You've been painting cars more than you've been racing. Yeah, I understand that. Um, do you think people are getting to the point where um, life's getting back to normal? So a lot less is happening during the summertime, and maybe that's the case.
Yeah, I would say so, especially with COVID being less of a, and I'm not downgrading it by any means because it is still very harmful, but I think now that, like you said, the world has gotten back to normal more, that iRacing has gone down because people, especially now in the summertime, are going out, they're going camping, they're traveling, doing all those things. Because I mean, we saw it as soon as things shut down because of COVID. That I mean, the price of rigs and wheels and everything shot up dramatically.
Through the roof. Evie, how are you doing, dear? Good to see you over there. How is Australia winter treating over there? Hopefully you're treating your dad really nicely. That's for sure. Be good to your dad. Um, the let's see. Um, I mean, because if I take in consideration what's going on, because it's Friday night, I know a lot of people are out. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning, we might see some of that, but we're talking the heart of what do you what this what right now is like prime time when leagues run. Most leagues run between 7 and um, 7 Central my time, or about 8 to 8:39. So right now I almost guarantee there's leagues running races right now, and that's pretty much most of the racing that we're going to see. And throughout the week, I broadcast for just over 300 drivers total, and all 300 of those drivers, some of them share leagues too, so probably less than that. If my math would serve me correctly here, the big factor with the leagues running is that people are finding more enjoyment out of league racing than they are out of the official racing. And is that because of the platform taking more steps into letting leagues kind of control their own pace, or is it just officials aren't fun?
I still have fun in officials. I definitely have more fun in league races just because you're with the group of people that you race with all the time. You've built relationships with. You know how everybody races for the most part. Um, I still have fun in officials. They're just frustrating because you get people that go out and wreck and just don't care.
Money grab will the while it's getting good. I understand points. Same people. I you know what? Um, I proved it the other day. Um, there's drivers in that have I ratings of 4, 5, 6,000 in some of the leagues, and driver the other day had a 900 I rating, won the race. Some people just don't care about the officials. I barely run. I'm going to run an official race tonight. I have to. There's a purpose behind that, and that is has everything to do
Hmm.
with the number of races that I have completed. It is a bad, evil number, and I have to change that one more.
You
Evie, I'm
know,
glad I made your day.
all my names have that amount of letters too.
Oof, oof, oof. Um, you've backed off officials for yeah. You know, and that's part of the allure of officials is that you can get in there, you can race, you can try to improve your skill with strangers. The problem is that you don't know what to expect. You know, racing in a league, you can expect what these drivers are going to do. And maybe not the first couple of races, but as the season progresses, you can. It's just like anything that you do. You know, you go play at a if you're in a dart league at your local VFW or your bars or whatever, or you know whatever's going on. You know what team's going to be your slayers. You know what team's going to be kind of the people to help bring up and um, you know, it's the same concept is that you become comfortable, become familiar. And I think league racing is probably the best thing that iRacing has. And I hope they never get rid of that. I hope they try to focus on giving more exposure, not just to the Coca-Cola series. And I understand the $100,000 prize that they have on that Coca-Cola series racing, but I want them to see, and not for my benefit at all, for the benefit of these drivers and the benefit of these people putting their money into this, still putting their money into hosting the races, hosting the leagues, because it's a $10 fee to just start a league. Now, imagine that league has 5 leagues, so they have $50 invested in their leagues to be able to pay to host more races each. The cost to run a league is it's kind of inexpensive, but if you've been doing it a while, it's not. It become. I mean, you've got practice races. If you're a dedicated league, you're going to host more races. They're spending $1.25 at a time per 3 hours of hosting, which seems cheap, but if you do it 7 days a week, twice a day, and then you have your big race that lasts 4 hours, and that's going to be a couple of bucks for you, and it adds up. So let's see. Teach new drivers and learn from the fast drivers. You know what? That's exactly right. A lot of you know what fast drivers. You know what a fast driver is to me, and as a broadcaster, as a commentator, a fast driver is a driver that can be consistent on his line and know how to approach the situation moving forward. We see it all the time. We see it in every race. Nate, I don't know how many times you've ever seen somebody when you're calling a race or when you're trying to push your boundaries going forward on your own races, but if you're approaching something that looks fishy in front of you, do you still continue to full send or do you adjust your line? Or do you full send, watching what's in front of you, ready to kind of trail break yourself?
That's a good question. I definitely am still learning from that one because I seem to put myself in the wrong situation, especially recently. I've been getting caught up in a lot of wrecks. Um, it's just so tough, and I think you nailed it on the head with that's what makes a fast driver a good driver. They just have that mental picture almost, I would say. Just they know what's going to happen and they're always able to know exactly what to do and where to go. And that's tough.
And sometimes the best way to learn is from the people in front of you, teaching that sponsorships are also, and that's exactly right. That's the thing about leagues here that I would love to, and that is exactly the reason why I think iRacing needs to spend more time devoting themselves to some of the smaller leagues. I really do. I think that is the big benefit because these leagues can finally, I'm only one platform. One of the biggest platforms out there that does it. There's two. You got Podium eSports that devotes a lot of time and energy to perfect their craft, and they've had the money and the funds to do it. And kudos to them. Fantastic broadcast, fantastic commentators, fantastic looking things, and they have. I'm gonna toot their horn all day long. LSR TV has been a major portion of it as well. It's all Cody Wooten and all the crew over there have fantastic broadcasts, fantastic looking streams, and they're probably the two platforms out there that I watch. And now Turn 3 is doing Turn 4, Turn 3. They've been stepping up. There's a lot of people out there that are like me that and like yourself that have really stepped up and put their image and their name and their and everything that they want to do into making this platform better. But you allow these leagues to get the exposure, and then they can get sponsorships, and they can have more of these broadcasters talking about that. It's all about how the platform can grow together, and I think that's something that iRacing is seeing and is looking at. I mean, you've got some of the biggest names involved in iRacing right now. NASCAR, had a new sponsorship deal with them in 2021. A partnership deal, and there's a lot of things that iRacing has going well for itself, except for some of the things that are behind the scenes with drivers, with official races, with if you can make that car look pretty, you can make it drive well, you can make the damage model as awesome as possible, you can add all of the favorite tracks that you could ever do, but it all comes down to the driver at the end. So, man, it's kind of my little rant about iRacing. Anyway, some things that they have added. I know you guys saw it just a moment ago. I like sponsorships. We like sponsorships here. I know that Skollkey likes them. I know that leagues like them. We gotta. If you want to sponsor leagues, go into the league section, search a league, Find out if they're racing. You can Google search most of the leagues that are in there and see if they've been broadcast. And if they are, then you can reach out and find out what platform they're on. If you have somebody reach out to you, and you're a small business and you want some exposure, well, then that's a good way to do it. If you are a business from the Bible Belt to, I would say, up to Virginia, across to Illinois, I would say anywhere from, I don't know, here in Missouri, Kansas, from Kansas all the way to Florida. If you take a big sweeping mark and went straight down across Virginia and take all of that area, the southeastern portion of the United States, and if you were a business there, you're going to get more views and more exposure if you're a business there by advertising with one of these platforms, because that is the biggest viewership that I've seen. By looking at analytics and everything that I do, that's where most of our viewers come from. Now, I do have a lot of viewers overseas. I do have a lot of viewers in New Zealand, Australia, China, Argentina, lots of places all around the world. But my biggest core is in the southeast of the United States. I don't know about you, Nate.
I can't honestly say I have really looked into it too much. I've just been, my main goal has just been trying to make the content good at this point. I haven't really paid too much attention to viewer count or anything at the moment. Zerk and I have been working on getting better every stream at this point.
The content creator, do numbers matter? That's the big question. Do numbers matter?
To me, no. I just want to put on a show and have fun.
That should be the whole goal, folks. That should be the whole goal. I don't care if I'm commentating or broadcasting to 5 or 10 or 1 or myself. When I first started this, I had one viewer for my first stream. And had a conversation with me while I was doing my iRacing broadcast. I didn't know what I was doing. I barely knew. I know media, and I know graphic design. I know videography. I know what I'm doing as far as outside of the electronics world, but I had no clue about this industry until I just jumped into it. It is. You gotta have fun. Content matters. Content does matter, and it's not necessarily just the race. It's how we talk about the race. And I think I told you this before. What makes a good broadcaster or commentator for iRacing is not necessarily, my name's Jason with Signature Esports. I've got this radio voice. I'm going to be able to make you talk. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or big shiny bells and whistles. What the biggest thing that makes commentating is telling the story. You tell the story of the race.
Yep.
Known iRacers also will help with numbers. Ron, you're absolutely right, but numbers don't matter. They shouldn't matter. If numbers are the most important thing to a commentator, then or a platform, then you're not putting on a good show. The numbers will show up, and I've proven that time and time again. The numbers will show up for your races. I get anywhere from 4 to 1,000 views per race across all 3 platforms. Now I do restream to all 3 platforms, and then the replay value becomes that much more. And that's numbers. I can go back and look at how many people I have broadcasted to, and I've gone back and I can see how many times that my most watched video is 54,000 views. I had 47,000 live views during that broadcast. And I didn't have anybody special there. I just had a good league and somebody shared it to the right spot. It can be the luck of the draw. It can be, and if you put it on a good show, they're going to keep coming back. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the voice helps. The voice, I have a voice for radio. I have a voice for doing this, but realistically, the end all to be all is being able to tell a story. If you can get out there and have fun, you can enjoy yourself. Your platform, you've got a co-commentator. Does it make it easier with a co-commentator consistently? Because I have one on Sunday nights with the No Toad Racing League. Kyle does a phenomenal job. Kyle Gresh out there is just, he volunteered his time, but I want to get him paid, so we need to get him some work. But he's a good dude, and he likes to call races. And like the same concept on my end. I've done this pretty much solo the entire time.
Yeah, I think having a co-commentator, especially if you're newer, I think it helps. If you're more of a veteran broadcaster and you're just kind of used to talking, and especially if you've commentated um, the tracks as many times as you have, that makes it easier as well because you've watched a lot of races there, you've called the races, it's what each corner is like, and even having driven a lot of the tracks myself, that helps as well. But just with the double commentator part, it definitely helps us with the comment was made, no dead air. It definitely helps with that because we have a conversation together. We have a conversation with chat. We're able to call other things out in the race because we've got more than one person looking at it. So I think it just, all in all, keeps us moving and keeps more facts for us going because we are still newer to it.
Well, taking in consideration that um, dead air is a big factor. Now, I take what I call hydrate breaks, and I do that. I do that to protect my voice because I do
Yep.
call a lot of races every week, um, and I try to adjust volumes for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what I do to try to mitigate that is I'll turn the sound of the cars up just a little bit, and let that thing just kind of roll. Let the drivers bounce, let it bounce around to the drivers. So if you ever get yourself in a situation that is part of it, I highly encourage you to be able to do that. A racer makes it easier to have an eye on. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And folks, I've driven a lot of races in this simulator. I'm no stranger to putting down laps on the simulator. I know how it drives. I know the corners. I know the racetracks. I try to make sure I get in there and figure out race lines and fuel mileage and do that. I have a fuel calculator that I use based off of current telemetry and current things that iRacing uses. I will tell you, it's not accurate all the time. And so a lot of it has to be watching the cars. When do they come to pit road? When are they going to make those pit stops? Are they going to how many tires do they have? Do the league set you up with all the information that you need? That's the true sign of a good league too, because they set you up with everything that you need to be able to call the race. And something that a commentator or a broadcaster can do is to ask those questions as well. How many laps are you going to have? Of course, do they have stages? Do they not have stages? Do they go on green every time? Is it go on green first and then do the drivers have lane choice? Just what are the minuscule details? A lot of it you can find in the session. You can look under the race info and find out what they're doing, how many tire sets, how much fuel they have. Because a lot of leagues that we see run changed fuel so that way they can change up pit strategies because they're not running 100% length races. But part of it's asking the questions and seeing where you can gain more knowledge, more information. And I think that has been my biggest thing is that I'm very picky about the races and I'm very picky about the leagues and I'm very picky about what I put on stream. I don't swear. I don't curse. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about other things that I try to make it as a professional broadcast as these folks would want to have because I consider them professionals. I don't care if they're a rookie with a 500 I rating. I don't care if they're an A class with a 7,000. I don't care if they drove in the Coca-Cola series. I've had Brennan Poole. I've had Junior. I've had Truex in my races. I've had a ton of different folks be in races that I've called or I've been a part of. And at the end of the day, I treat every one of them as if they are the next NASCAR Cup Series champion. So, no swear.
Steve Money's comment.
I don't swear in my broadcasts. Now, if you have seen me play Tarkov or if you've seen me on my personal streams on Twitch, you've heard me curse. You've heard me swear. Because Lord knows that, my army time didn't change the way that I talk. I just try to make sure that I'm as professional as possible for these folks, because they deserve it. They're paying me to do this, and they're paying you to do this. And so all that we could do is just take our time out to do our jobs, which isn't just to show up and call a race. It's our job to put out videos to make sure that we're getting the races going and taking care of everybody. Let's see. C money. Oh, you meant you? Yeah, I believe that. And it's hard, and that's the other thing. Okay, so Nate, have you ever had somebody say, "Well, you didn't talk about the guys at the end of the field"?
Yes, it has happened.
Okay. You'd make it 5 laps.
I don't even know if you'd make it that far.
Jeez, oh Pete. So here's the thing. Quite often there's between 20 and 40 drivers in the field, right? And for the most part, smaller fields make it easier to talk about every driver. We don't do it on purpose at all. Some of the most interesting racing is in the back of the pack. Some of the most interesting racing is going to be up front. NASCAR does it all the time, and that's the reason why they have color commentators. They have people on pit road talking about who's having issues, who's doing what. They're walking themselves down pit road to find the story. We this is a simulator. We can't have that. We try our bests to do this, and I will tell you from my own experience, I go through the field all the time. I scan who's the biggest mover. I look at who's alternating positions. SDK is really good about that. SDK Gaming is my platform of choice right now. I do want to switch to ATVO, but only when I can afford it, because it is an expensive purchase to get the overlay that I want. And I want it created for me and for our streams and for the series. But I will use SDK Gaming until that happens. And if I can never afford to get the what I want, then I'm okay with that, because honestly, I'm happy. I'm very happy. The SDK Gaming has treated me very well, and I've never had an issue. I do not have an issue with anything they have going on, except for there's a couple of tools that I want, but they're working on it. Skollkey eSports needs to stream more. Fight me. Mama Z says hi. Hello, Mama Z.
Hello, Mama Z. Agree, more streaming. Yeah, that's my smoking hot wife in chat.
Look at her go. How's she doing? How you doing, Mrs. Esports? Oh, Mrs. Skollkey. SK. You do need to stream more. I stream iRacing a lot.
I just need to stream every time I play Tarkov, and I just don't do it.
I mean, why not?
That's the question I ask myself. Why not? I mean, there are days when I come home from work or something, and I'm just like, I just don't want to deal with it right now, because I'm just like, I want to talk to the couple people that I'm playing the game with, and then I just don't want to have to pay attention to something else, because I just dealing with like 100 people all day.
Right.
But I mean, my day's off. There's no reason.
Right. No reason not to. Team Money, thank you for gifting the sub to Nate's old lady. I appreciate you. Can't be naked in chat. I'm what? Never mind. That's the way it goes. All right, let's talk about some of the new features for iRacing. iRacing companion app. Have you found any use out of it? It's new. It's cool, I think. I have it on the phone. I checked it out earlier. I hadn't downloaded it. Somebody told me about it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. You can you can check out your own stuff." But that's it. Like, I mean, you can look at,
Yeah.
you can get reminder, you can set yourself reminders. It says,
I did like the schedule.
yeah, the series. But you can look. What I like is you can look at the league schedules. So that's something that is really, so if your league schedules all the races in advance, which a lot of leagues don't do, they make a schedule on another platform, and they do that. But I think it's cool. Say you're, let's see, for sure it is. There's a lot of help when you're racing officials to see what's running at what time. And you know what? A lot of people are on their phones. A lot of people are in the simulator and they don't want to alt tab out of the out of trip screens, to be able to go and try to find the next race. Getting on your phone to be able to do it is pretty nice. I'm surprised they haven't done this, more quickly.
Yep. I was
So,
always looking for an app as soon as I started iRacing, and I was kind of
just
upset they
never
didn't have one.
They never had it. Yeah.
And as
All
simple
right.
as this one is, it's helpful.
It is kind of simple. I'll delve more into it. Maybe we'll do a review on it or something like that. Speaking of things to review, Admin Box just had a review out there. I need to find the video that we need to look at that video and maybe, because I like the new Admin Box that has been put out there, and he's been kind of growing too. But iRacing to add multiple dirt tracks. This was in January of 2022. But I want to say that a lot of the media coverage on the website is fewer than normal. I don't know if you've noticed that yourself, but it's been kind of weird. Where's the patch notes? iRacing patch notes is what I was looking for. I had pulled it up before, and now I can't find it. Let's find it. New window over here. Racing Season 3 patch notes is what I was looking for. Was it the 615? Yeah, there it is. All right. Season 3 patch notes. That's so bright on my eyes, but at least you can see my face again. AI racing, they fixed a lot of the crashing issues here in the last patch. They had some hot fixes here recently. What does he say? What did Zerk say?
There it is, your Jason or whoever is streaming the race I am in. I'm not sure.
Cool. Always race and have the stream on my phone. Appreciate you. Yeah, and that's the thing, folks. Support your leagues. Support the people out there.
Yeah.
We try to share it where we can. I stopped sharing it to the iRacing pages because they get flooded with it and people just ignore that crap. I've been ignored. I wouldn't say more so there, but the iRacing forums and the pages and stuff like that, I get more reactions out of Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, sharing it to the places I know I'm comfortable, and getting on Reddit and Twitter and being active out there has greatly increased that as well. Patch notes: AI drivers have been improved with the racing skills. They'll still cut you off and wreck you. That happens. iRacing interface had an issue. The track rules tab will no longer be open by default when opening a replay. Did you see that? I never saw that. Somebody talked about that before.
I can't say I did.
I didn't either. All the iRacing setups have been updated. The biggest thing that I saw was New Atlanta came out.
Yeah, I'm excited to try that.
I tell you what, apparently everybody says it drives like a super speedway. Fuji International came out. Excited about that one. Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway came out as well. Port Royale Dirt Track came out. That is awesome. Sandown International Motor Raceway. There's some fixes for all of those. That was absolutely killer. What else did they have? I went to all the media covers. Race time for you. Be good on your race, brother. I appreciate you. Always like to race dirt, but iRacing needs to work harder on their dirt program. That has been said by a lot of drivers. I don't know if you've heard that, Nate.
Their dirt program.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that. I myself am not a huge dirt racer, but I'm starting to try to get into it a little bit more. So I don't really have anything to go off of for them to work on. I've only done a handful of dirt races.
Let's go back over. I found the page, damn it. Okay. iRacing Seasons. If you go to the iRacing.com /seasons 2022-3, season 3, see what's new this season. They added the Mercedes AMG GT3 2020 version, the AMG GT4, which is sexy.
That looks sweet.
I want one of those in real life. And the Radical SR10. So a lot of Road Series getting some updated. Fuji International, I was excited about this one. I've already bought it. Port Royal, I already have. Sandown here, or Sandown, man, from Springville, Australia. This track right here is going to be an insane 13 turner. Yeah, right there. 13 turn, 1.928 miles. The Sandown 500 is the track's premier event, contested by numerous divisions since its first running as a 6-hour race in 1964 and currently raced by the Supercars Championship. This track, if you have not seen it yet, you need to get out there and watch some videos. The new next-gen damage model. Kind of tired of seeing the new damage model. They need to change the drag rate on the cars.
I have a feeling you're going to see that new damage model a lot Saturday.
Martinsville, I heard about it. Why do I test Martinsville so much?
Because it's terrible.
It either goes well or it goes bad. Tomorrow night, Martinsville. It's going to be a good race. I think it's going to be a good race. There's a lot. Okay. It's not that I don't like Martinsville. I think Martinsville is a phenomenal racetrack. It really is. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's just a few experiences. The last couple of times that Martinsville, Bud Shear is going to be fast tomorrow, just so everybody knows. But my peg is for Bud to win it. And that's not me being like, oh, my goose before it's cooked here. But Bud knows Martinsville the best. And that's probably my prediction for tomorrow. Will it happen? Yeah, we'll see. Bud Shear is just really fast there. So we'll see what happens. The cars drag the ground on flat tracks way too much. And with the way the physics are working, you're taking damage to the front of those cars quite a bit. So they need to make that adjustment because you can come in at Martinsville and some of these other flat tracks and have 10 seconds of damage and you've never hit anybody. So that needs to be a thing. And that just comes from running practice races with the stock setup. New AI additions. I like the addition of AI in the first place. I'm glad that they started adding more because when I first started on iRacing, they only had one or two types of AI, and it wasn't even like NASCAR versions, you know. So they've got the Arkham Arts now, the Monte Carlo SS, the Mercedes AMG GT3s, NASCAR SK modifieds that'll give you, if you want practice on the SKs and the touring mods, that is where you need to practice. Don't go to the racetracks and run the officials. Go there and practice with the wheel. It'll teach you how to pass. It's very tough to pass in the wheel in the modifieds. Those SKs and the touring mods, you have to save tires like crazy because you don't get a set. You can't, and you don't want to go in for fuel because that'll never happen. And setting yourself up for success on the wheel of modifieds, it's huge. Stock Car Pro Series, the Brazil cars are there. Fuji International got AI editions, and then of course Stafford was one of the first ones that I saw. There's the user interface. It's getting better, right? Do you think it's getting better?
I like the little differences they added, just because it was changed, something new.
You know the live broadcast tab. You know what I wish it would did. Took all the
Broadcasting.
took all the hashtags from other streamers that support iRacing, like yourself. It doesn't have to be me. I don't care, but not just the iRacing. I understand they're trying to focus and make that Coca-Cola series the best it is, but you got a lot of people out there supporting this platform that are, and I'm not mad at iRacing. Don't come at me, iRacing. I love everything that you do. The drive setups, I do like that, but I still think that folks need to. I see the way that Tarkov support, and this goes back to Tarkov. You know how Tarkov supports their community? They find the people who care the most about the community and do the most for the community, and they help them out. And they give them streamer items. They put their stuff in the game. Pestily as the Pestily mask. They just added the press badge for which
Nice guy. Nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy. They're doing things to. I mean, Doctor Disrespect has armor in the game, and Doctor Disrespect gave some insight to the game. It's only played it, a dozen or so times, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yep.
I don't know. He's probably played a lot more than that. But the Doc is, he's a legend in himself, and he supports what works, and you know what he played and streamed the game, and they showed their gratitude for that because he's got a huge audience. A lot of people do, my favorite people to watch, Mushu Dynasty on Twitch. He's my favorite Twitch streamer to watch because he's just humble, and dude, he just redid his studio too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like when it's finished. I like watching you guys get out there play. You and C Money just do a phenomenal job of controlling the pace. I'm a slow figure it out just because of past experiences in life and what I've seen in my lifetime. Tarkov is, I'm a slow player at Tarkov, but iRacing, I'm all about speed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Fast. I like to go fast.
Got to be consistent. That's the big thing. iRacing is about consistency. Broadcasting is about consistency, and we've kind of gotten off a tangent, and I've kind of gotten off a tangent. And
not first, you're last.
That's right. That's right. Hell, I was only joking, Bobby, Ricky, or whatever. You could be second. You could be third. You could be, hell, you could even be fourth. Reese Bobby. Let's see. So you had a broadcast last Thursday. You're gonna be back next Thursday. Skollkey. I put his links for his YouTube and his Twitch channel in the description on Facebook and YouTube, so you'll be able to check that out, folks. Nate, anything for everybody out there? What would be your best advice for gaming? We kind of got drug on for what was supposed to be an hour, and I started rambling there. So, next week will be a little bit more, I wouldn't say structured. Still going to shoot the breeze, and it's supposed to be happy hour. It's supposed to have some fun. But maybe we'll have some gameplay and some content for you that we can talk about. Maybe do some video reviews. And I'm going to get my damn light to work so that way you can see my face, and I don't look like I have 9,000 shadows on my face. Because I do. Because I'm sitting in a corner. Corner right there. Corner. But what do you think, man?
Some of the best advice for gaming?
Any advice?
Any advice? All right. Number one, have fun. But really, It's just a way to, number one, I've met a lot of people gaming, meet new people. Two, have fun, and I actually mean that. It's not worth, and I know that I get mad. So Jason, you can laugh at this a little bit, but it's not worth getting mad at. Like, I've gotten in arguments with my friends in video games. It's really not worth it, but Tarkov gets you heated. But I mean, we always calm down and we're always good. But just enjoy your time, because it's just a way for some people, and I know it's not for everybody, but if you are a gamer and it is something that you truly enjoy, it is a way to get away from the stress of work or anything going on in your life at that time. So if that is something that truly does help you, you truly enjoy, don't make it rotten for yourself by just letting yourself get upset. Circle. Hush.
I'm waiting for the chat for the comments to bounce up here. What do I do with my hands? Yes, that's true. My biggest advice is full send. I say it every race, every broadcast, everything that I do. And you know, you have to have goals in life, and my goal in life is to make something of myself for my kids, for my family, to be able to give back to the community completely. And the biggest thing that I see is that everybody focuses on numbers, on making money, and doing all that. Money comes when you need it. Um, Stress is derived from overthinking and overworking. Um, the adage is that you get back as much as you put in. And I've lived by the philosophy that you can't have $1 million dream on a 9 to 5 attitude. So I have my own business. That's why I work extra. I take as much as I can. I am rebounding from the biggest theft of that I've ever experienced in my life. That I'm still going to court over and still battling people over because we had some staff steal from us. Uh, that it's unreal. And I'm still rebounding from that. That took a huge toll on me, but I'm still moving forward. I still have a full send attitude, because if you don't full send life, tomorrow you're going to have a regret. And you can't do it. You know what I mean? You can have patience, you can have knowledge, you can have wisdom, and you can still full send life. So that is my goal. Be kind to one another out there. Leave the toxicity for your friends at the bar, and treat gaming as if you can RP being a pirate and be a turd. Awesome. That's what you're doing. Enjoy yourselves. But don't belittle people. That right there is probably my biggest thing. We'll talk about toxicity next week. But that's my biggest thing. Don't treat each other with a little bit of respect, because you don't know who that person is on the other side of the microphone. You can see me and you can see Nate, but that one time, who knows that guy on the other side of the computer isn't your neighbor and doesn't figure out who you are. You know what I mean? Get what I'm saying? Careful out there. It's a dangerous world. What it is, but full send life. You know, full send. Don't make it. Don't make it harder than what it is. You know what I mean? But Nate, where can they find you?
Skollkey eSports on Twitch and YouTube.
That's where they can find him. Nate's going to be back with me. We're going to have more people in. We'll bring in more and more folks. See money's on Tarkov.
Where you can find me.
Right. We'll bring in more and more folks. Podcast is just getting. I want to be a community. Join the Discord. Link kind of popped up in chat somewhere around there. And yeah, it's been good. It's been real, man. I look forward to seeing you. If I didn't see any chats over there for Facebook or Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. I apologize about that. You know, it is what it is. But we had over 100 messages today, so that's even better. I like the interaction. You can find me on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. The only difference is on Twitter I'm at Real Sig Esports because somebody else took Signature Esports. I don't know another Signature Esports, but it is okay. TM. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Much love to you. Again, Full Sim Life. Be kind to one another. Nate, thank you for joining me. We're gonna have some fun.
Yes, we are. Stay safe, everybody.